Nordson Corporation is proud to continue to invest in educational opportunities through our sponsorship of Academic Challenge. Nordson is a global leader in precision technology solutions with a long and proud history of giving back to the communities where we live and work. To date, Nordson and the Nordson Corporation Foundation have donated nearly $173 million to charities, awarded $7.5 million in scholarships, and our employees have logged more than 117,000 volunteer hours. Thank you for watching Academic Challenge. Best of luck to all the participants.
This week, teams from
Elyria Catholic, Rittman, Open Door
are here for the Nordson Academic Challenge. Yeah. Hey, welcome to the Nordson Academic Challenge. I'm your host, Rob Powers. So glad you're with us. For the next 30 minutes, our players will be tested on their knowledge of subjects like math, science, history, a few others as well. So one more time, let's welcome today's teams from Elyria Catholic, Rittman, and Open Door. Let's take a look at the leaderboard right now. These are the scores that our teams today need to beat. Keep in mind, at the end of the season, 60 area high school teams will have competed. The 3 highest scoring teams are back to play in our 57th championship game to try to win the top prize of $6,000 for their schools, awarded by our friends at Nordson. Okay, let's get things started. Where we start every Saturday, it's time for the lightning round. All 3 teams compete in this round. I ask 10 questions. They all have a common theme. We award 20 points for a correct answer, but we will take away 20 points for an incorrect or no answer. Let's start every team with 100 points. The rest, you need to earn. Hands on the buzzers, eyes on the monitor when we need it. We like the number 5 around these parts. Name the following parts of your body, all of which have 5-letter names. Got it? Here we go. This is another name for your backbone. Rittman.
Spine.
That is correct. Along with the crossbones, this bony part of the head appears on pirate flags. Rittman.
Skull.
That is correct. This is the short, opposable first digit of your hand. Elyria Catholic.
Thumb.
That is correct. This is between the cecum and jejunum of your small intestine. Rittman.
Bell.
Ilium. Ilium's the answer there. This major bodily organ is treated by a cardiologist. Open Door.
Heart.
That is correct. This joint connects the upper and lower arm.
Elbow.
Elyria Catholic.
Elbow.
That is correct. This is another name for your belly button. Open Door.
Navel.
That is correct. This is the large tooth behind the bicuspid. Open Door.
Molar.
That is correct. The talus bone is part of this joint linking your foot and leg. Open Door.
Ankle.
Ankle is correct. Our final lightning round question today comes from our good friend at Nordson, the senior specialist of talent acquisition. Here's Brandy Kessler.
We know you're smart because you're on the Nordson Academic Challenge, so we expect you'll know that the cerebrum is part of this organ.
Open Door.
Brain.
That is correct, and that is the end of round number 1. We're up and running. Don't move. We're back with more of the Nordson Academic Challenge after this quick timeout. Welcome back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. If you'd like any information about any of the schools that appear this season, scan that QR code you see in the upper right-hand corner of your screen with your cell phone. That takes you to the news5cleveland.com Academic Challenge page. We have links for all of this season's schools' websites right there for you. Time now for us to play Hot Picks. One at a time, I ask each team 8 questions. Correct answers here worth 20 points. No penalty for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 8 questions correctly will receive 25 bonus points. Before we get to the questions, let's meet our teams. Let's meet our players. We start with Elyria Catholic's captain, Vito, back for his 2nd season.
Hello, I'm Peter Carino. I'm a senior at Elyria Catholic. I would like to thank the Nordstrom Corporation and ABC Channel 5 for letting us compete today. I would also like to thank my family for showing up. I participate in National Honor Society, Maui United Nations. I'm also the captain of the math team and the robotics team treasurer.
Good job, Vito. Great to have you back. Hi, Maria.
Hello. My name is Maria. I'm a junior at Elyria Catholic, and I'm involved in marching band and theater and a number of other clubs. And I would like to thank our alternate Colin and all the other members of our academic challenge team.
Good for you. And we wrap things up with Noah.
Hello, my name is Noah. I'm a junior at Elyria Catholic. I am my class treasurer as well as participating in Model UN at EC, and I would like to thank our faculty and staff for their continued support.
Welcome this morning. Great to have you. For your questions, Elyria Catholic, Elisha, we come to you. 1, 2, 3, or 4?
3.
You got it. Envelope 3. Elyria Catholic, these are all yours. All set? Here we go. Historian Walter Mulcahy charted many of the trails used by what 19th century rapid rider system that carried mail from Missouri to California?
The Pony Express.
That is correct. Bound for the Promised Land is a biography of what woman, an escaped slave who led 300 other slaves to freedom via the Underground Railroad?
Harriet Tubman.
That is correct. For centuries, the Emperor of China was said to sit on a throne named for what mythical, fire-breathing creature?
Dragon.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. The ammeter is a commonly used device that measures which of these?
Current.
Current is correct. Alcatraz is not the only place nicknamed The Rock. That phrase is also used by residents of what O-initialed Pacific island to refer to their home?
Okinawa.
Okinawa is correct. A fictional language called Nadsat is spoken in what Anthony Burgess novel that has the word orange in its title?
The color orange.
A Clockwork Orange is the answer there. Sorry about that. Let's go back to the monitor. Here's your math question. What number should be added to this expression in order to obtain a perfect square?
49.
That is correct. Although he attended the Constitutional Convention, what man refused to sign the Constitution but did become the first U.S. Attorney General?
John Jay.
Edmund Randolph. Hey, heck of a round, EC. Nice job. All right, today's second team comes to us from Rittman. Rittman, welcome. Elyria, you are the captain. Welcome this morning. Tell us about yourself.
I'm a junior at Rittman High School. I participate in band and Girl Scouts.
Good for you. Great to have you this morning. Hi, Luca.
Hi, my name's Luca. I'm a freshman and I participate in marching band, concert band, jazz band, and Teen Institute.
Good for you. Welcome this morning. Olivia, it's your turn.
My name's Olivia. I plan to go to OSU and double major in education and history.
Good for you. Welcome this morning, Rittman. Great to have you. For your questions, we go to Molly, the open door captain. Molly, 1, 2, or 4?
4.
You got it. All right, Rittman, these are all for you. All set? Here we go. The mythical Paris made some powerful enemies when he bypassed Hera and Athena to award the Apple of Discord to what goddess of beauty?
Aphrodite.
That is correct. One inventor who did not profit from his most famous work was Eli Whitney, who gave up trying to protect his rights to what invention that revolutionized Southern agriculture?
Gun gin.
Cotton gin. Cotton gin. Is that what you said? I didn't quite get it. Cotton gin?
Yes.
Okay. In the 1850s, President Buchanan unsuccessfully tried to get Congress to acquire what Caribbean island whose capital is Havana?
Cuba.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. Chemical reaction rates in solution do not depend to any great extent on which of these?
Pressure.
Pressure is correct. A pro-slavery mob in Indiana attacked what African-American abolitionist who had dared to publish his views in his North Star newspaper?
James Brown.
Frederick Douglass is the answer there, sorry. In an unsuccessful attempt to kill rats, 19th century Hawaiians imported what weasel-like animals similar to Kipling's Rikki Tikki Tavi?
Ferrets.
Mongoose. The mongoose is the answer there. Sorry. Back to the monitor. Here's your math question. We ask you to solve for X. Answer?
9.
9 is correct. Explorer Robert Scott died a cold and bitter death in Antarctica, knowing that what man had reached the South Pole just weeks before he did?
We don't know.
Roald Amundsen is the answer there. Rittman, nice job. All right, our third team today, Open Door Christian School. Molly, you're the leader. You're the captain. Congratulations. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Molly. I'm a senior at Open Door. I am in NHS. I'm the vice president. I love bowling. We're trying to go to state. And I would like to make a shout out to our members, Georgia and Hannah.
Good for you. Isaac, you are up.
Hello, my name is Isaac. I am a senior at Open Door. I do soccer, track and field, and my most of all favorite is the musical.
Good for you. Welcome this morning, Isaac. McKenna, let's wrap things up with you.
Hi, I'm McKenna. I'm a senior at Open Door. I'm in NHS. I'm the secretary, and I'm also in bowling.
Good for you. Welcome, Open Door, all 9 of you. Thanks for being here today. For your questions, Open Door, we come back to Elyria Catholic's Captain Vito. Vito, we're down to 1 or 2?
2.
You got it. All right, Open Door, these are all for you. All set? Here we go. Hours before Paris fell to the Nazis in 1940, a Jewish couple named Hans and Margaret Ray fled the city, carrying with them their manuscript about what playful monkey, whose friend is the man in the yellow hat.
Curious George.
That is correct. Some people have hearts of gold, but what English king who left England during the Crusades was said to have had the heart of a lion?
Richard the Lionheart.
That is correct. After D-Day in 1944, one project to supply Allied troops was codenamed for what former planet, named for the Roman god of the underworld?
Pluto.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. Which of these is a synonym for milk sugar?
Lactose.
That is correct. Nicknamed Typhoon Tip, the Pacific Ocean area with the lowest barometric pressure, is about 300 miles from what G-initialed island that is a U.S. territory?
Guam.
Guam is correct. Jealousy plays a major role in what Shakespeare tragedy in which the jealous title character murders his wife, Desdemona? Answer?
Othello.
That is correct. Back to the monitor. Here's your math question. We ask you to solve for X. Answer?
-1.
2. 2 is the answer there, sorry. In 1900, the British government granted patent number 7777 to what Italian inventor who had developed the wireless telegraph?
Alexander Graham Bell.
Marconi is the answer, but a heck of a round for all 3 teams. We'll be back with more of an academic challenge right after this. Hey, let's say hello to our judge today, courtesy of our partners at Tri-Seeds, Dr. Denise McCory, president of the Metropolitan Campus of Cuyahoga Community College. Hey, welcome, and thanks so much for being here. It's great to see you. Before we get on with our next round, we're going to take a quick look at our scores as we have them right now. In 3rd place, 220 points, Rittman. 2nd place, 260 points, Elyria Catholic. Leading the way, Open Door with 320 points. But hold on. Time now for our Picture Perfect round. All 3 teams compete in this round. I have 8 questions here. They all have a picture clue. For every correct answer, we award 20 points. For a wrong answer or no answer, we take away 20 points. So, hands on the buzzers, eyes on the big monitor. All set? Here we go. It was the 1814 bombardment of Fort McHenry that inspired what man to write Elyria Catholic? The lyrics for the national anthem, Francis Scott Key is the answer, sorry. Titled simply An Elephant, this drawing is by what 17th century Dutch artist whose last name was Van Rijn?
Rembrandt?
Elyria Catholic.
Rembrandt?
That is correct. This is artist Paul Signac's 1905 depiction of the Grand Canal in what Italian city? Elyria Catholic.
Venice.
That is correct. If this is one root of a quadratic equation with real coefficients, what is the other root? Rittman.
2 minus 4i.
That is correct. Here you see one of those scenic fjords that break up the coastline of what Scandinavian country? Elyria Catholic.
Norway.
That is correct. This was the sensible response of what British author of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Answer is Douglas Adams. This is a hunk of what B-initialed material that is the main ore of aluminum. Answer? Open Door.
Boron.
Bauxite. Bauxite is the answer there, sorry. Notice the wall full of paintings on the cover of this edition of Cleveland Magazine, much like you would see at which world-famous art museum established in 1793 in the city of Paris, France? Elyria Catholic.
The Louvre.
That is correct, and that's the end of that round. Don't go anywhere. We're going to mix it up right after this. Walsh. It is it's time to say hello to our team advisors this morning. From Elyria Catholic, Terry Ziegelmeyer and Suzanne Lester. From Rittman, Logan McNutt is here today. And from Open Door Christian School, Zach Overs and Matt Wood are here. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for getting the kids here and getting them ready all season long. Time for us to mix it up. One at a time, I will ask each team 6 questions. A correct response here worth 20 points. There's no penalty for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 6 questions correctly in this round receives 25 bonus points. EC, you're up first. Ready to roll? Here we go. Hidden in this phrase is the name of what class of slave-like peasants who lived in feudal Europe?
Serf.
That is correct, and there it is. If you were filled with apprehension, you would be feeling which of these?
Trepidation.
That is correct. This is the proper designation for one Chopin piano etude referred to by the name of what beautiful insect that emerges from a cocoon?
Butterfly.
That is correct. Fill in these blanks correctly. You can identify what bone of the forearm?
Radius.
That is correct. Of these 3 famous women, which one committed suicide by letting herself be bitten by an asp?
Cleopatra.
That is correct. That was big. This is for the bonus points. One of the oldest similes in the English language. This phrase was popularized by what 14th century poet who wrote Canterbury Tales?
Chaucer.
Chaucer is correct for the bonus points. Yeah. All righty. Rittman is up. You ready to roll? Here we go. Reach within this phrase. You will find the word identifying what grinning cat from Alice in Wonderland?
Cheshire.
That is correct, and there it is. If you were defending your prerogatives, you would be protecting which of these?
Privileges.
That is correct. These 2 words both describe what natural ocean phenomenon governed mainly by the moon?
Tides.
That is correct. Fill in these blanks 2 different ways, and you can name 2 metallic elements whose symbols are Al and PT. Name either one.
Plutonium.
Sorry, it's aluminum or platinum. Sorry about that. Which of these was a historical group associated with Russia?
Cossacks.
Cossacks is correct. Poet Alfred Lord Tennyson used this phrase as a metaphor for which season of the year that includes the vernal equinox?
Summer.
Spring. Spring's the answer there. Hey, Rittman, good job. Good job. Okay. Open door. You are up. Ready to roll? Yes. Here we go. You will enjoy universal approval if you find hidden in this phrase what fish that swims upstream to spawn?
Salmon.
Yes, it is, and there it is. Which of these words best describes something that still exists?
Extant.
That is correct. These 2 names refer to transportation used by pioneers. Missing is the name of what wagon associated with a valley in Pennsylvania? Answer?
Red wagon.
Conestoga. Conestoga wagon, sorry. You will be on track for 20 points if you fill in the blanks here to name the only element that begins with the letter X.
Xenon.
That is correct. None of these places was a nice place to be incarcerated, but which one was a notorious Confederate prison?
Andersonville.
That is correct. These are the words of what author who amused millions of readers with her stories about Harry Potter?
J.K. Rowling.
That is correct, and that's the end of that round. Nicely done. We got a game here. We'll be back with our final and deciding grab bag round. It's all coming up right after this. All right, welcome back. Let's check the scores right now as we hit the final round. Rittman, 320 points in 3rd place. Open Door, 2nd place, 400 points. Elyria Catholic leading the way, 465. It's time for our grab bag round now. All 3 teams compete in this round. I ask as many questions as time allows. 30 points for every correct answer, but you will lose 30 points for a wrong or no answer. Again, this is for all 3 teams. Hands on the buzzers, eyes on the monitor when we need it. Set, here we go. In South Dakota, you can visit the home of what Native American chief who, along with Crazy Horse, planned the Battle of Elyria Catholic.
Sitting Bull.
That is correct. In Robinson Crusoe, the title character reported that he could see in the distance what Caribbean island whose capital is Kingston? Rittman.
Jamaica.
That is correct. Belva Ann Lockwood was the first woman to argue a case before what highest judicial body whose current members include Sonia Sotomayor? Elyria Catholic.
Supreme Court.
That is correct. This is the flag of what small Persian Gulf state? Rittman.
Kuwait.
That is correct. In 2010, a collector paid over $11,000 for a dog collar worn by a pooch that had belonged to what English author of Oliver Twist? Elyria Catholic.
Charles Dickens.
Dickens is correct, yes. What is the total surface area in square inches of a cube having an edge 10 inches long? Answer, Elyria Catholic.
600.
600 square inches is correct. The name of American Revolutionary War hero Thaddeus Kosciuszko was misspelled 11 times by what man? The American commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. Elyria Catholic.
George Washington.
That is correct. This proverb comes from what large country on the Asian subcontinent whose major cities include Mumbai and Delhi? Open door.
India.
That is correct. Choice is the freezing point. That's the final buzzer. We go to the scores from there. Here we go. In third place this morning, 380 points. It's Rittman. Second place, 430 points. Open door. And the winner of this morning's academic challenge with 615 points, it's Elyria Catholic. Congratulations, and please be sure to join us next time. We will feature teams from Berea Mid-Park, Kenston, and Rootstown. Thanks for watching this one. I'm Rob Powers. Study hard. We'll see you right back here next week.